Alright guys, welcome back. And today we are starting the fifth, last but not least, the fifth Space Invaders board set. 5 of 5. So I got the ROM board off here. And it looks like I have replaced the caps. I did some work, obviously. I marked one chip bad, so it obviously was not working, and I did mark one chip bad on there. The ROMs, I believe, are good. This one looks like it has never been messed with as far as jumpers, so we're good there. This one has a different style of soundboard, sound and I/O board, if you will. Just a different layout. And remember, let's check this out and let's see if this is a op amp or comparator, or if this is actually an audio amp. Let me pry this off and see what we got here. Alright, I pulled that heatsink off of there. This one actually is an LM377, so that's good. And put the heatsink back on it. A RAM board that hasn't been messed with. This one does not have color prom, so this one is black and white only. And looks like the CPU is actually soldered into the board. That kind of sucks. Well, that's okay. We'll remove it. If we need to remove it, we probably will for using the Fluke on it. But yeah, so that's where we're starting. I think first and foremost, I'm going to replace this part. I might put this all back together, get the little scope going, and just really poke around on this board and see if I can find obvious other dead chips. So, I know I just basically, really started to poke around on this. I don't know if I replaced this or not. I may have. I think I did replace this. I think I started here. This one was bad, and then when I fixed this one, it showed me that this one was also bad because it's kind of a chain reaction. So I might as well go ahead and replace this part, put it back together, and then start from there. And eventually I'm going to have to remove this. So, alright. First things first, let's replace the known bad part. Alright, well, I had to change a plan. I just set up my little racing station out here in the shop. I'm actually running Ethernet out here, I'll show you that. But these boards, I took them apart and they were absolutely filthy, especially on the back side. So I washed them really good, gave them a shower with alcohol to help evaporate out and everything. I'm just going to let them air dry. But yeah, I'm in the process of running Ethernet from my house out here, and I had to dig this trench. There's the other end of it, and I have a 3/4 inch PVC running through here to there, and there's my Ethernet cable coming from the house modem. It's on top of the air conditioning unit right there. That's going to fish all the way across through there and then through the garage. So yeah, I'll have Ethernet high speed out here, just one jack. So that'll be cool. I'll be able to actually live stream out here more because I have a newer laptop too that I can actually plug into that Ethernet, and I'll be able to have it set up over there, and I'll be able to do some live streaming. So look out for that if you would like that. Let me know down below in the comments if you would like that kind of content, a little bit of live streaming and just that kind of stuff. Alright, yeah, washing those boards. Alright, I'm back. Well, I just had a nice, well, I forgot to remove that cap. But I have a nice demonstration of removing a chip the right way, the clean way, and without messing anything up, to give a little bit of value to Patreon and the members on channel members, I'm going to upload that portion of this video to either Patreon, or it'll be a members only video of just an example of properly removing a chip like this. So yeah, I got this guy out of the board. I need to remove this, so let me see if I can just do the rock method to get that out of there. You know what? No, I'm gonna go ahead and get my gun back plugged in, and I'm gonna remove that and replace this cap, and I'll be back. Okie doke. New socket, new cap, and it's absolutely beautiful. Perfect. Alright, yeah, so now we can fluke this thing. I need to make sure that there's no damage in these connectors. I'm using my viewfinder to get a look at these on the camera. Do a little zoomage, try to, and that one looks okay. And they're all okay. Okay, good. This one, good, good, and this one. Alright, yeah, they're all okay. So let's put this thing together and see what we get. Okay, we're hooked up. Put the CPU back in it for now. Got the ROMs in it. Oh shoot, I remember I cut that chip off. Alright, I gotta replace that chip. I just now noticed that. Alright. Yeah, if you remember towards the beginning of the video, I had this chip I already knew was bad, so I had it marked. So I cut it off, but I just forgot about it. So let me take care of that. Okay, now we're ready. I got that 161 replaced. Got it back on the bench and put together. I got the black and white ready to go. And so let's plug it in and turn it on. Fired up. And we've got bad graphics, but it is running, so that's good. It's just got bad graphics. Interesting. Huh. Okay. Very strange. Very strange. That kind of... I still think that's the ROM board. It looks like it's a data problem because addressing would be stuff in the wrong place, and I don't really... This could be an addressing issue to I don't know. No, I think this is a data bit problem, because everything's in the right place on the screen, it just doesn't look right. So you know what I think I'm going to do? Let's make things easy on ourselves. And I could just put another ROM board on it. Because I believe this is all, well, unless it's video RAM. It could possibly be a video RAM. You know what? I'm going to put the Fluke on it. First things first, put the Fluke on it and go through all the Fluke tests. Because this could be a bad RAM in the video section. Which is kind of unusual because most of the time, if a RAM is bad, it won't run at all. From my experience, but maybe this is a different case. So let's do that. Let's put the Fluke on this thing and see if we have RAM issues, and I'll talk to the ROM and all that good stuff. So yeah, let's do that. Okay, doing the ROMs, I remember I had these two flip-flopped on one board, and when I'm thinking I'm reading 18 at BFF, I'm getting BC3B, and then I'm getting 23D6 at this range. So I don't know if I have these flip-flopped again. I don't know if this is right, or I don't know which one's right or which one's wrong. I'll be honest, I don't know. I'm going to try flip-flopping these two and see what happens. Okay, yeah, no, that's not the thing. We're in the right way. So this is actually wrong. This is backwards. So yeah, these are right, and it's running with the Fluke right now. But we got our problem here. Now I'm going to do the RAM checks. All right, a little bit of weirdness update. It's I'm doing a long RAM test right now on the range that is allocated to the CPU, scratch RAM, working RAM, whatever you want to call it. And that seems to be fine. I'm doing a long test on it just to verify, but yeah, it looks okay. The video portion of the RAM is where the problem is. So it tells me that the decoding, if this works fine, then the decoding is fine. Except for maybe if it's in the 3000 range. Uh-oh. Okay. We have a pattern error. But that might be because that might not be anything, because I think you have to do, on long RAM tests, I think you have to do the individual blocks from 2000 to no, that should have worked. Okay, yeah, I don't know, we got a RAM issue for sure, so I'm gonna just keep poking around on it. I think the problem is this board. And I think we have flaky RAM. Okay, interesting. I put a different RAM board on it, and it's doing the same junk. This is what it deduced to. It started doing this crap. So I think this board is still the problem. So I'll put a different ROM board on it, and I bet you this is the problem. There we go. I put this ROM board on there. There's the one in question. And look at that. So now I'm going to get this board out of here, put the other RAM board that goes with this set, put it in here, the CPU and RAM board, and I bet you it'll work as well. The problem is the ROM board. And it's not the ROM circuitry, it's the other. It's probably got another bad 161 or something like that, or maybe a counter or an adder or something like that on it. All right, or it could be this chip itself. We could have another bad, a bad one of these chips. That's probably what it is. It's probably this chip right here. So yeah, unfortunate. Okay, I got the little scope going, and we're going to look at that chip. And here's pin 2, and that looks normal. Here's pin 7, that looks normal. And then on the other side, they are a tighter frequency. So pin 15, that looks right. And pin 10 should look just like that. And here's pin 10. Yeah, check out the difference. There's 10. Here's 15. These should look exactly alike. Yeah. That chip is no good, is my my assumption. I'm going to go ahead, since I got it, and poke around on everything else, make sure everything else looks good, but those signals are supposed to look the same on you got a slower frequency on pin 2 and 7, and then a higher frequency on pins 10 and 15. And they're the same, they look the same. They're supposed to. So, but since I got it out, I'm going to go ahead and poke around on this a little bit and just look around, but it makes sense. Our ROMs work and everything. The ROM circuitry is fine, but we're having problems with the RAM circuitry. And this thing sends signals to the RAM and the CPU, which the CPU signal is probably one of the good ones. We can look at the schematic, and in fact, let's do that. Pin 10 is the one that's in question. So I want to see where pin 10, what is pin 10 doing off of this chip? My guess is it's RAM selection, RAM enabling, or something like that. Okay, pin 10 of that actually comes through here, 2H. It's theta 1, the 1 clock, which actually goes to the CPU. So, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, though, I'm going to go ahead and poke around on the thing some more with some of these control signals up here, like the addressing signals, probably with the, not addressing, but yeah, these do create RAM addresses, I believe, some of these up here, and the adders for sure. So I'm going to look into that circuit right there. But this does look funky to me. That just doesn't look right. But that, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. Right now, that's in the back of my head. It don't look right, but I want to look at other stuff too. Okay, I did find another bad chip right here. It's chip number 17. So I was probing these 83s, which are adders, and one of them had no inputs. The outputs were all just high, so I looked at the inputs, and the inputs were all high, or were floating actually. So, and you'll see this is the 283 I was looking at, and the B 4 bits is actually just from video invert. So it's either, I think it's always high. So it's, unless it's you're playing 2-player and the table flips and then it inverts or whatever. But anyway, yeah, so it's basically whatever added to 1, right? Well, these are all floating, and they come from this chip number 17 here, which is a 86. And chip 17 is this guy right here, and it's a 2-input exclusive OR gate, and the exclusive OR gate is the same thing as an OR gate with one exception. If you have two high inputs, the output will be low. So it's either or, but not both. Either or can be a 1 to get a 1 on the output, but not both. If both are 1, the output will be low. So we have this signal with a 0, so we should just be buffering this signal at the output, and this is the output, just floating. They're all floating, all 4 outputs of this chip are floating. So yeah, this guy's no good. And you know what, being that the outputs are floating, you can probably drive them. They're not stuck low. So we can probably just grab us an 86. If the outputs are stuck and they're being pulled to a level, a lot of times you can't do this jumping. But these outputs are floating, so we should be able to drive these outputs with a chip jumped over top. There you go. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's just that chip. So this board's good to go. This chip. Yeah. So these go to RAM addressing. That's what these 83s do. These 83s, all of these signals, 2Y, 221, 220, they go over here on the RAM board. This is the RAM board schematic. $220, $221, yeah. They get muxed with the CPU and the hardware are switched and share the RAM. So yeah, that's what that is. So that's why we have problems with RAM addressing. Okay, so I'll go ahead and replace that chip proper. And we'll almost be there. Then we got to do sounds. We got to test sounds and see if sounds are working at all. I don't even hear the sound amp pop at all. So the soundboard could possibly be pretty screwed up. So we'll. I did already peel the little heat sink off of that chip. I may have already shown that, and it is indeed an amp, so that's good. So I'm going to stop, replace this chip, and then we'll flip this over so that we have access to the audio board and go from there. Okay, brand spanking new 86, nice and cleaned up. Okay, put this thing together. I'll flip it over so we have access to the audio board and see what we got. Okay, we are hooked up and we'll fire up. Okay, that's good. So the game looks perfect. That's good. Black and white. And so yeah, no sound. No sound at all. It looks like something burned up right there, doesn't it? Is that a tantalum that burnt up? Alright, well, yeah, I don't hear nothing. No sound at all. Okay, well, let me figure out what's going on there. Probably I'll pop a new amp in it and see what happens. Alright, yeah, actually what's going on here, and it's pretty common, is the ground is not run over to this middle one right here. The middle finger right there is ground for the audio amp. So I just have to run a jumper from there over to here, over to the ground. And the amp actually isn't powered. So let me power the amp and try it again. Okay, just run a little jumper. Simple. So now we are ready. We are grounded. Our amp is grounded. We're ready to power it up and see what we got. So let me turn this fan off. I'm not soldering anymore. Okay. And ooh, I did hear a pop. I hear the amp pop. That's good news. Okay, let's see if we get some thumpage. I heard a fire sound for some reason. I'm putting them all kind of in the center. I want everything about half volume except for the thump. I always turn the thump all the way up. Everything else is half volume according to these pots. So I need to hook the joystick up and play some, see if I can play it right. Yeah, see, did you see that? It shot a fire. It fired a shot for some reason. Well, that's loud. What I need to do is turn these down even further. Because you want the thump loud. I'm going to hook the joystick up and actually play this, so try to dial in the sounds. Alright, well, I have no control at all over this. And I don't know. I'm starting to wonder, is this really Space Invaders? I don't know. I guess it is. This one is not like any of the others. So, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of strange. Anyway, yeah, I'm just kind of wondering, is this actually a Space Invaders board? Controls don't work at all, which is weird. So, yeah, I don't know. I'll get the schematic, but I think I'm going to have to try to find a schematic for this board itself. So I don't have a schematic for this board right now. This is what, CV070005. It says Space Invaders up here in marker, but that doesn't matter. Who knows what this originally came with? It may be Space Invaders, I don't know. I don't think so though, but you never know. Anyway, the good news is sound does work, the amp works, the thump is there. I've heard the shot fire, I heard the crash sound, but that's it so far because I can't play it. So, alright, we'll have to do some poking around and figure out what's going on. Okay, I'm kind of following the fire button. And it starts right here. And it's like floating. And if I push the fire button, you'll see, let me get this to where I can do this. See it? Dang it. See that? That's all you get out of it. So when I follow that signal right there, it comes over to right here. That's that signal. It goes through to right here, this resistor, the resistor capacitor network. This is just for debouncing and making sure it's a nice clean signal. Okay, see, you'll see on the schematic it says it goes through a RRC. Resistor capacitor. So it's got a couple resistors and a capacitor. So here's the first resistor, and the second one is, I don't know where. Probably over here somewhere. Probably one of these or something. Yeah, right here. The capacitor is this third one. These are all grounded. And then this one, this tantalum, looks like that. I think this third tantalum is shorted, or partially shorted, or whatever. I'm just going to take a look at all of these really quick. Make sure they all look decent. There's another one. Okay, so yeah. This one, the second one, and the third one. So the third one right here. Yeah. Third one and the second one. I'm going to clip those both out of the circuit and see what happens. It's possible that it's the chip. This one of these chips might be bad too. So you'll see in the schematic it goes from the resistor capacitor network through a little inverter gate. That's those 14s. There's two of them. These two 14s. But first things first, most likely suspect, I'm going to go ahead and clip the tantalums right out of the circuit and see what happens. Okay, well, I clipped the tantalums and we're getting the same exact thing. So it wasn't the tantalum capacitors. Okay, so next I want to know, does both of these signals go to the same chip? So I'm going to do some poking around and some continuity checking, because this schematic is not for this board. So I got to actually just trace these out. So let me see that. It's probably just one chip. Okay, after poking around, this one, both of these chips, this one goes to one of them, and the other one goes to the other. I forget which one it is, which one's which. But The likelihood that both of these are bad is kind of, I mean, it's possible, but it's not probable. So I want to look on the back side of this board and make sure that there's not something funky going on. If I can't find anything weird looking, then yeah, maybe both of these chips just are bad and they're dragging the signals down. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, yeah. Well, I've been poking around a little bit. I removed both of those caps. I'm ready to replace those. I removed the little jumper wire that was connecting right here to over here, so I didn't really see what that was there for. It was just another pull-up running to over here. But I'll put it back in. But, you know, doesn't matter. But I followed this over to this chip, and that's the leg on this chip. I've cut it. That's the actual leg in the chip. This chip is shorted to ground, this one right here. Because now if that's now the fire button. And I will set this like this, and maybe you'll be able to see. Let's do this. Let's try this. And I'll push the fire button. See it go down? Yeah. So that's that. So that's the fire button. And I suspect this one's also dead. So I want to find out what that control is and do the same thing. Okay, I replaced that 14 and I put this wire back in that was there. And I was just looking at this. I wish that this thing wasn't so, you know, I could change the width on this. Even if I had to go into the chassis and put a different width capacitor in this thing, I could make the width about like this. So I don't like that. And the width coil is not going to fix this. Those width coils don't really do much. Like if I wanted this, if I wanted to dial this in and bring the width in, I'd have to change the width capacitor. And I've got those width capacitors. They're all these type capacitors right here. These are basically width caps. You know, 0.56, here's 0.68, 0.47, 0.15 is a common one. So I don't know. Basically I would have to just go in and put a bigger value capacitor in. So if it has a 33, I would go up to like 47 or something like that, you know. Just the next size bigger would dial that in a little bit. If you want to make it wider, you put less capacitance in. So I might do that. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and play this thing and see if that fixed our issue. I'll set up the camera on the tripod and we'll check it out. Okay, here we go. Give it a shot. Give her a play. Hey, it works. It didn't sound very good. That's an op amp issue, I believe. Man, this thing's loud. I gotta turn some of these sounds down. I'm just kind of messing around trying to figure out. Okay, I'm messing around with the sounds. I'm trying to figure out what's what. So I'll mess around with that and I'll be right back. Alright, yeah, using the jump-a-chip method, you get the game running. And then I grabbed an amp and just jump around until you hear the saucer sound. There it is. I already marked that one bad. So I'm going to replace that amp. And that should do it. Okay, I got the new amp installed. So we shall set back up. And give it another shot. I hope that's not totally fuzzy and out of focus. I apologize if it is. I can't really tell. So let's see if I can shoot the flying saucer and make the sound happen. Okay, here we go with the start. Coin, start. Why is that not working all of a sudden? Never mind. Just had to plug the joystick in. Yeah, this stupid joystick plug doesn't work very good. That's better. Let's play one more time since I was having problems with the joystick working. Let's try it again. Got close. Ah. Game over. Well, that's it. That is the 5th and final Space Invaders board set. There you go. There's a couple things wrong with it. A handful of bad chips. And good to go. This board set was really dirty. Had to be cleaned up. So it's pretty common with these. They're always nasty, filthy, dirty. So that's going to do it for this one. As for always, thanks everybody for the channel memberships and the Patreon memberships and everything. I appreciate every bit of it, every one of you. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you all on the next Classic Arcade Repair. Bye for now. Alright. We thought it was done. We thought we were good to go. I came out after 2 hours after leaving it running, and it's doing this. Just resetting after it plays Space Invaders and then reset. That's no good. I will spoil this. Spoiler alert. I've already done some board swapping and I know it's this board. I put a different soundboard on here and it works fine. So something is funky on this board. But I don't know what. I've got the little scope out and ready and everything. And I think I'll just do a little real-time poking around on here and let you watch it. I have not looked at anything. I've not looked at any signals on this. So we're going to be doing this together. So I'll go ahead and set up. Okay, apparently that wasn't recording. I was just saying how maybe it was recording and it shut off. I don't know. Anyway, I've got it all set up here. I got the little scope right over here. I don't know if you can see it very good. You can see it up there a little bit. I already probed this chip. This is the one that I replaced and it looked fine. So I'm moving on to the other 14, which handles the inputs and all that. And I actually did this one too and it looked fine. Yeah. So I was moving on to these muxes, the 153s, which mux the dip switches and the inputs and some of the signals from this. Well, this doesn't have that. This does not have the custom chip on the board that shifts the invaders. I think it's just got the chips on board itself. I think. I'm trying to see. I can't really see very good. Yeah, I don't know. I can't see. Not unless I get the magnifying glass, or these Coke bottle glasses might work. Yeah, 151s. Yeah, this has this is like the original Space Invaders that has all the 151s to shift the bits. Yeah. Yeah, these things just... The Coke bottle glasses are good for up close, but not for looking over there. Hurts my eyes. And these just aren't that great. But anyway, let's look at the 153s. That is a select bit. This is a select bit. And input bits are all low except for that one. And yeah. Input bits are probably all going to look the same. They're probably all going to look like that. Okay, I don't like that. That's kind of floaty. Oh, that's the mux's output. That's the output bit, which it is probably okay because all of the inputs are high, or low, I mean. But that's just, I don't really like that. But it's not incorrect. Unless that's just flat out floaty. It's, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's okay. Okay. All low, except for a couple highs. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of funny that this is the only one. Which one was that? That was always low. This one. I mean, yeah, all the inputs are, and that yeah. All right, I'm gonna move on. Okay. Here's a 16, which I think that is for just video or something like that. I don't know. Alright, this does not seem right. This is a 16, which is a inverter. It's an open collector inverter. And we have, this is the input signal, which is a signal. And the output is lat. It's always high. So that does not look right to me. But I think what I really need to do is clip to it and check it out with two inputs. Or with an input and an output, I should say. So that's the input. Here's the output. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that very well. I'm going to crank this up to 2 volts. There we go. Yeah, that's not doing anything. So that is definitely no good. That's an open collector inverter. A 16. Okay, well there's something. Oh goodness, my back. I think I got some 16s right here. Here's a 16. Let's try a jump. Now let's see what that looks like. Alright, now here's the input, and now here's the output. But it's still not running. I'll remove that and test that again. There's the input and the output. So that chip is no good. But that's not making it run, even though it's no good. That one's definitely no good. The red dot on it. Okay, I'm turning that off. Okay, let's continue. $74.04. Just an inverter. Okay, that looks fine. These are those. I'm not really worried about these 151s at all, because I didn't see an issue there. $174, I think. All right, I need to get under the magnifying glass here because I can't really see, so I'll come back. All right, I can tell what's going on. The reset counter is a couple of 161s, and it's terminating and resetting the game. I'm sitting here and on the terminal bit, the pin 15 of this counter, and if you count when it triggers, and now I'm not seeing it trigger. Oh no, the reset right here. No. What's going on? This needs to be reset, right? What was I probing? There it is, pin 15. Every 5 seconds, pin 15 goes high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I think it's just the trigger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, see? And that corresponds with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The reset counter is not getting cleared. So if we look at the schematic, here's the reset counter right here. That pin 15 is what was pulsing. That's reset. This thing is supposed to be cleared by probably the 42. Yeah, 42. So my guess is the 42 is no good. So let me probe around on that. Alright, instead of probing around, I just popped a new one over top of it. And she working. Yeah, so got to replace the 42. And here's another thing. That 16, that's no good. Remember? That's pin 5 out to 6 was no good. That's right here. That's in the color circuit. Pin 5 out to 6 is one of the colors. I don't know. Green. Yeah. So that would not have worked. While I got this thing out, we'll replace that, of course. And I'm going to populate the well, am I? I might populate the color stuff. Yeah, why not? I'll make it color. Okay. This is actually a color game board, I believe, because it's got the color mod. Remember, this is not oriented right for color, you know, it's flipped the other way, or for black and white. It's flipped upside down if it were to be black and white. That's because of this jumper. So I'm going to populate the color stuff on that board and make this thing color, and that would have killed the color too. I mean, there wouldn't have been green. So yeah, why not? We'll go ahead and do that. Okay, we're back together. New. And if I can do this, these 4 parts are new. I need to find where I put the other bipolar ROM. But yeah, so we are now running again. So I am just going to verify controls and gameplay and sounds really quick, and then we'll switch over to color. Okay. Totally populated. And there we go, color. I still got the black and white monitor on. But yeah, Space Invaders color. So let's go ahead and turn out the lights and play some color Space Invaders. Alright, here we go. In fantastic Technicolor. Oh, I gotta grab the... there we go. There you go. Space Invaders color. Looking great. Playing great, sounding great. So I'm not going to let this run for another 3 hours because I already did that. Yeah. But that makes this board. It's better to make it to populate the color, because if you didn't have this populated with color, you wouldn't be able to use this in a color game. I mean, that's pretty obvious, isn't it? So it's better to just populate that as color. And yeah, that way if you got a color game, you can just swap this in and it'll work fine. But yeah, the green would not have worked if I had not replaced that 16, so I'm glad that I just came across that bad chip. But that's going to do it for this one now. Now we are done. And that's a wrap on this job. That was 4 power supplies and 5 board sets. Pretty awesome. All right. That is now going to do it for this one. I got to actually add these last few videos that I've done onto the... I've already processed the video and I already actually uploaded it. And I'll have to delete that and I got to reprocess the video and everything. I got to add these clips to the end of it. So it's pretty cool. I'll put a little tag or a little text at the beginning of the video saying, you know, stay till the end, because when you think it's done, it's not, or something like that. When you think the job is done, it's not, or something silly like that. So, all right. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching this series of Space Invaders board sets. I hope you were able to pick up some little tips, help you with your board repairs. If you like this kind of stuff, subscribe if you're not, like, all that good stuff. And check me out on Patreon and channel memberships. All right, guys. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you on the next Classic Arcade Repair. Bye for now.